Good evening, and welcome to Iowa News and Views, Iowa's only independent, weekly cable news and event show. Well, tonight, before we get started, I've got something to tell you, Mr. TV Man. Did you hear about this quote that the Des Moines Register printed the other day? Jim Ross Lightfoot, the man who could have been governor of Iowa, had this to say when they came to ask him how he was feeling. Quote, "You can burn in hell for all I care, and that is just where you are going." We really missed something when Tom Vilsack was inaugurated just a couple days ago instead of Jim Ross Lightfoot. Well, we're done with state government for tonight. Instead, what I've got here as host today, as a guest today, is Karen Kubby, probably one of the longest serving city councilors in the state, although I'm sure we've got some people out there with 20, 30 years.
Oh, yes.
Karen's working up there. She's the longest serving one in Iowa City in any case. And Karen, we've pulled out one of your some campaign literature. We've got a little cartoon here to get us started. And if we could just bring that up here. Here she comes. This is a cartoon you ran in your re-election campaign, is that right?
We decided to have a little bit of fun and get a message out in a kind of a non-traditional, yet very traditional way.
And we're working along that, yeah. We'll be up there in just a minute. And Karen, this kind of traces your political career here in Iowa City when you started back in 1985, right?
Right, that's the first time I ran for city council.
And what got you started?
Well, like most people, I got mad about something. Something happened in my community that I wasn't very happy about, and so I went down to City Hall to talk about it and got kind of interested. As I was waiting for my issue to come up, excuse me, I had to sit there and listen to all these other issues, and it kind of got me interested in all the issues that local government deals with.
What was the issue that got you going?
The city taking away parkland.
Parkland.
Yeah,
And
in my neighborhood.
In sort of the zoning and land and property issues, which is something that does, I see it in city council meetings, brings people out.
Right.
But you're one of the people who stayed around. And what was it? What were some of the things that? I mean, I know one of the issues that we're going to be talking about tonight. Two issues mainly that I think have been sort of the center of your career here in Iowa City, and that's fairness and access.
Well, when I was sitting there, meeting after meeting, I would, as a listener in the audience, I started becoming a watchdog of local government and realized that no one up there was asking the questions that I would ask. And nobody looked like me. No one came from my neighborhood, or no one I knew was up there.
Well, we've got our cartoon thing going again.
Good.
Let's pull that up. And there's our first one. Karen Kubby checking it out.
All right, so there's the heavy door of City Hall that's kind of hard to access.
A little bit intimidating. Let's go to the next slide. And here you are working on it.
That's
Starting
right,
to
trying
strain
to
a little
open
bit.
up the doors to City Hall to not just me, but to the community.
Let's see the next one.
And then here, some people are helping out. It takes more than one person to open up government. It takes an effort of a lot of people. That door can be really heavy.
And we've got a few more people pushing.
All right, and then we're struggling there, but we're getting it a little bit open, and someone's actually starting to get inside there.
And once you get a peek inside those halls of power, I think that's when things start to change, when you have people working on the inside as well.
That's right. The more people you get in, the more that City Hall changes because of the people participating. And then finally, here it is. The door is open through the efforts of many, letting many people in the community into the halls of local government.
And if we can just keep going, and one of the things we're going to be working on tonight, we're asking this question is, how's your local government doing with regard to fairness and access? And if we can see that next slide, we're going to be encouraging people throughout the show to jot down our email address, or at the end of the show, we'll have our phone number and our address, and you can send in your comments. And we're hoping if you've got a reaction to something Karen says, or if you've got a story that we could be bringing to Iowa News and Views about something that's being done right, or maybe not so right in your local community, we would be very interested in hearing about it. Well, Karen, we were moving right along in there. Back to fairness and access in local government. You'd gotten elected. What were some of the things you saw that sort of cause a challenge to have a fair local government? I mean,
Well,
that's the closest kind of government to us. It should be pretty fair for everyone, isn't it? Are we all the same?
Well, I don't think so. I think if you look at most local governments across the country, that mostly the people who are represented are people who already have some amount of power, whether that be kind of social power because of some kind of status, or whether it be financial power or other kinds of economic power, that you own land or you own a business. Most council members have some connection to the Chamber of Commerce or other organizations like that. And there are city halls full of environmentalists and full of neighborhood activists, although slowly that's changing. And I think that's an important change for government, to be more fair, because when people talk about communities that work, the big question for me is, who is it working for? And if the answer is it's working for the majority, for me that's really not good enough.